Hello, everybody. It is Sunday, and it is the final Sunday reset of 2024. Oh my gosh. I don't know about you all, but it feels like this year has flown by, but at the same time, it has felt like an extremely long year. So I'm super excited about 2025. I have a big birthday coming up, and I always get excited about a new year anyway. But today, for our last show of 2024, I wanted to talk about dreaming. Specifically, I wanted to talk about what happens when you forget how to dream and how you can go about reconnecting with your dreams. So, one of the things that I have been thinking about, I'm always kind of thinking, one, how do we continue to evolve and grow and kind of challenge ourselves as we get older and we get further into this stage of life where it feels like things could easily kind of stay the same for a long time, where maybe you are starting to feel a little bit of the tension between who you used to be and the things that maybe you used to dream about and who you are today, who might be someone where you feel as if you don't have the time to dream as much as you did. Maybe you feel like you have experienced different things in life that have let you feel like dreaming is something that is for young people, but maybe not for those of us who are in our 30s and early 40s, and just feeling kind of disconnected. Because I think when you don't dream as much, or when you kind of put your dreams on the back burner and you're so focused on the day to day, you almost start to lose a little bit of yourself. So I was thinking about this recently because over the holiday break, I got the time to just kind of really just chill out and sit on the couch, watch TV. And one of the things I watched was Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, which I have loved the show. I remember watching it like back in the day, but in its recent reincarnation, I think they do such a good job of really just helping people to reconnect with themselves. And the show is kind of special for me in this year in particular because when I was in London and I was at the end of my journey there, it was like one of the only things that I could watch. Like I was like binge watching Queer Eye, because I knew how it would end. I knew it would end with a happy moment where the person that they were working with had kind of reconnected with themselves. And as a person who loves personal development, loves transformation, loves growth, this is like so up my alley. So this particular episode that I was watching recently, it was a lady who lives in Vegas. So this season is Vegas. And she used to be a Las Vegas showgirl. And when she was a Las Vegas showgirl, she had it going on, and now she's gotten older and she stepped back and she works behind the scenes, but she has just kind of admittedly just kind of let herself go. So one of the things that they were really talking with her about was, not letting yourself stop dreaming, that no matter how old you get or how you start to age, maybe we won't use the word old, that your dreams are still relevant, that it is still so necessary for you to see your dreams as being something that is still really possible for you, and to not let kind of the nitty gritty of the day to day get to you. So, this was the theme that I leaned into this week for my newsletter, the Sunday Reset, that goes out early every Sunday morning, because I really want to create a space where we can take a moment, reflect, obviously reset, and just really think about how we want to move through our week. And so, because we are this week, we're heading not only into a new week, but a new year, it felt like the time to talk about dreaming and talking about what are some things that you can do to really reconnect with your dreams. So, as always, I have my little notes with me. So I think first, before we talk about really getting into what we can do to reconnect with those dreams, we have to acknowledge where we are right now. So we are at a point where, as I said earlier, we have lived through some things, child. We have lived through recessions and just all kinds of stuff that really, I think, impacts the way that you not only start to view the world, but the way that you start to view what is possible even in your own life. So I always call this point the messy middle, where you are find yourselves kind of at the crossroads. Every time I say that, I want to sing Bone Thugs and Harmony, but I'm going to stop myself today. But you find yourself at the crossroads and you're like, I don't know which way I'm going. And maybe you want something new, you want something different. But one of the things that I think is important is that when you do reach that spot where things feel uncomfortable, where you are like realizing maybe you want to change or the tension is there for you, that what you can do or what you should do is take a moment to say, what have I always dreamed about? What are the things that have always inspired me? What are the things that I've always been really curious about and want to know more about? So I definitely have found myself in this space where, and what was crazy was when I was watching this episode of Queer Eye and they were talking about dreaming. I had to really check in with myself and say, when was the last time that I have really tapped into my bigger dreams, right? So there might be some little things that happen day to day, but when was the last time that I was like, you know what? I feel really excited about this, and this is something that I really want to do. So, one of the things that I think is important in reconnecting with your dreams and your ability to dream is to put yourself in place where you can reconnect with that energy. So, for me, I went to Barnes and Noble the other day, and I don't really get a chance to browse through bookshops, or rather, I feel like I don't make as much time to do so. And so I loved being in the store because that is a place where I dream. Because when you're in the bookstore, you are surrounded by other people's dreams. You are surrounded by so many stories. And for me, that just inspires me because I'm like, okay, like the dreams start activating. And it makes me feel really excited in a way that I think is can be harder to come by sometimes. So that's like one of the first things I would say is, where is that place for you? Where is your best dreaming self? Where do you go to see or to really reconnect with yourself and your ability to dream? Hi to anyone who is watching live. I always like to give a shout out because I love it when I see people tune in live. It just really builds the energy. But where can you go to reconnect with yourself? Like maybe it is, taking the time to like, I like sometimes also like to sit in my house and just stare out the window. I like to daydream. But where can you go that you can really reconnect with yourself and say, you know what? I deserve to still continue to dream as well. The other thing that I think is important is asking yourself, what is a dream that maybe you haven't said out loud to yourself in a while? Now, this doesn't have to be something that you feel like you need to share with the entire world, but with yourself, what's something that maybe you haven't said, like maybe that you have kind of pushed behind? I'm going to challenge you today to really think about what that thing might be. What is that dream that you know is deep inside of you and you haven't connected with it in a moment? Um, I want to know if you want to share. I'm always open to hearing it. But I think even if you just kind of like let that little whisper to yourself come out and maybe it gets a little louder, I think that that is a really good thing. The other thing that I want to share with you all, and these are all ideas. Like I'm not the type of person who's like, you should do this and blah blah blah. Like I really like I may say should, but I really really think about this as ideas that you can have. What is the one dream that you want to lead with in 2025? So I know when we're planning a new year, we think about all the things we're thinking about, like the career, the finances, the health. You have all these different sections of your life that you can really lean into. But if you think about your overarching theme for 2025, what is the dream that you want to really lead you? this year? What is the thing that you really want to lean into and make it your theme for 2025? I think for me, the theme that I'm leaning into really is the energy of resetting. It's the energy of refreshing. Like, I think, if you've known me for a while or if you're just catching me now, this has been a transitional year for me. It's been transitional, and I think that next year can be transformational because sometimes you have to go through that transition, and transitions feel messy. They can be messy, they can be challenging, it can be so many things that feel really discombobulating. But I think that if you lean into the transition, it's setting you up for the transformation. And so I think that going into 2025, for me, the theme is that refresh. It's really leaning into, okay, now that I've had to reset and I've had to rethink how all of this is going to go, now I can lean into the transformation. I can lean into the refresh of where I want my life to be right now. So that is what I have for you all. I'm going to say that the vibe for 2025 is that we are going for hours, that we are reconnecting with our dreams, that we're not staying stuck this year, and that we are going to make the space to reflect. And I know that reflecting can sometimes feel uncomfortable. So let me give you a little cheer if you're catching me live or catching me on the replay. If you're spending some time with me really thinking about this topic, I just want to say I know that it can be a little like, oh my gosh, because having to sit and acknowledge things that you want to change can be uncomfortable, but you can't move forward unless you can sit with the with all the nastiness. Sometimes it just is what it is. But we got this. So thank you all so much for tuning in. This is my, I think, kind of fourth, fifth a week coming live, and I truly enjoy doing this. And this is a dream for me to be able to really have conversations that are more in depth, because I started doing things on the internet and blogging like back in the day when all you had to do was blog. You weren't necessarily like creating content and all of that. But I do think that where we are now is kind of amazing to be able to do so much. And that's something that I'm also leaning into and leading with in 2025. So I thank you so much for being a part of that journey. And I will see you in the new year. Bye.